Hello, everyone. My name is Lily, and me and Tara will be channeling on photos today. Let's see. I'm a Reiki Master, intuitive and psychic medium. And Tara and I are friends. We've been talking for a couple of years now. And I'm very excited to help with this channeling today. If you'd like to be a channeler with her, ask questions, you can reach out to her via email or her Instagram. And let's see if she's ready.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, who am I speaking with today?
You can just consider me the dragonfly that came by earlier.
Okay. So where do you come from?
The fifth and the seventh dimension, utilizing the body of the insect on your planet.
Okay. So, I'm feeling dizzy. So before you flew in, I did get a vision of one of the beings here, holding up a mirror. So do you have anything to say about what a mirror represents? Because I saw you with a package when you flew in. So are you bringing us information about a mirror?
A mirror is really your perception, not so much a reflection. If you were to look in the mirror with your friend, the two of you would not see each other the same. Some believe it is a true reflection of who you are, but really it is your perception of who you are. This is why you can walk past the mirror at one point in the day and a minute later see yourself in another way. You never look the same because your perception is always changing.
So it is not your higher self when you speak to yourself in the mirror.
It depends on what's in charge. If it is your ego, then it is through the eyes of your ego that you witness yourself. If it is your soul that is in charge, then it's through the eyes of the soul that you witness yourself. And it depends on the eyes in which you feel. The feeling will change, and thus the image or the reality that you see will differ depending on the eyes that you see through.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. Okay, I have a couple questions for you. So the mirror can also be a transitional space. Let's say, uh, besides asking questions about yourself or whichever, can you go through a mirror and go to a different realm?
Absolutely. The mirror is much like your dream state. Think about in dreams. Have you not been able to walk through walls, all of a sudden find yourself in a new aspect of the dream entirely? A mirror is a third dimensional representation of this. And the more you begin to manipulate your waking world and your dream world, then the mirror is nothing more than a pool of water that you step through.
Okay. Okay. So another question. This is actually Tara's question. She says witches would use obsidian as opposed to a regular mirror. Is that true? And why?
They would use many forms that are of a darkened state. They believe, at its core, that an absence of color and more focusing on the image help them to align with their intuition, to see beyond what the ego might see in color and shapes, and merely focus on the outlined image of oneself that you can fill in any way you wish, helping that to connect with their intuition much more easily.
So it's less distracting.
Yes.
Okay. So should we cover mirrors at night when we're sleeping?
Depends on what you feel might come through this mirror. Remember that it is aspects of you, your alternate realities and timelines, and your dream state. If you fear your dreams, then possibly you fear the mirror. And so you utilize a cloak or blanket to cover it, just as you would cover your own intuition or your own dreams.
Okay, I see. Okay, so segue into another question from Tara. Her father used to also use the mirror. What was his thought process at that moment?
He knew at some level that Chris Pillow was not the person looking back at him, that it was much like his dream. Before he had developed more of his ego, he was more in his soul space, his intuition. And so he knew that this was another realm, another way of being, another timeline perhaps, or perhaps it was a way to dive into the dream during your waking state. And so he looked and he looked until that reality began to blur, just as one closes their eyes and begins to drift away into sleep. And so he was beginning to see his dream state during his waking state. At one moment, it began to frighten him. So he stopped.
Okay. So it actually was conscious, it wasn't unconscious, what he was seeing. He actually knew what he was seeing.
Yes. And because he was fighting with the human he was becoming, the ego he was developing, he learned to fear what he saw.
Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else you want to tell us? Anything we don't know about mirrors? Anything I haven't asked?
Why do many feel that there is a distinction between looking at your reflection in a pool of water and looking at your reflection in a mirror? Are they both not mirrors? What makes one easy to traverse and fall into, and the other one somehow full of barrier?
Okay, so a lot of it is just collective unlearning.
Yes, this is why within many of your movies, your books, even in photography, they look to show that it is easy to walk through the mirror, but yet it is always written in a fictional sense that this could never happen. One could never traverse the mirror. But the mirror is really your representation of water. Water is intuition. Water is your dream. Water is your emotion. And so you step through it, perhaps into another world, but you create that world. You decide what under the water looks like, whether it be a lake, a river, an ocean. You decide what lives past that surface. And the same can be said about mirrors. You decide what lives past the surface, past what you see. You can enter it at any time, but you have to get past the programming that lets you believe that it is merely just a pure reflection.
Okay. This question's a little odd. So Tara and I were speaking about Sekhmet earlier, and it's sort of leading into this channeling. Why is that? Why is she coming so strongly with this message also?
Sekhmet represents, as it did to the ancient Egyptian culture and to many people today, the aspect that many fear within themselves. The imagery is that of fierceness, of anger, of roaring, of untamed, unbridled, and wild. This energy bursting forth that cannot be controlled. And many people fear that within themselves. And if you fear yourself, then you fear what you see in the mirror. And if you fear what you see in the mirror, how could you possibly pass through it?
That's true. Okay. Well, thank you for coming today. Any last words?
Yes. Perhaps you would like to know why I, the energy of the 5th and 7th dimension, utilizing the dragonfly to speak on mirrors.
Yes.
It is because in many cultures, the dragonfly represents the spirit, not just spirits of those that came before, but the spirit of all things, in all dimensions, in all times. So not only am I a representation of the past, but I am the spirit of you in the present and in the future. This is the 5th and the 7th dimension combined. And so it is much like a mirror, looking in and perceiving who you were in the past, yet present in who you are now, and yet trying to envision who you might be in the future. All 3 aspects, all trinity of self. And so, the dragonfly comes to speak to you today.
Transformation feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us today.
One more.
Okay.
Before I presented myself, I ran into the window.
Yes.
I was taken aback by the reflection. And just like many humans, I forgot that there was no distinction between me and the window, the reflection that I perceived of myself. And so I bumped my head.
Oh.
Do not bump your head. Do not forget. The waking and the dreaming state are one and the same. You merely close your eyes for one, and that is all.
Okay. Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey, he's still there.
Aww. Oh, this is awesome.
Wow. Wow. Dragonfly. Oh my gosh. That was such a cool energy.
Yeah.
Whoa. What did you think about that?
Well, he answered your questions, and it was funny because the last 2 questions I was thinking of them, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't ask. Kind of dumb, but he actually answered them. So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he felt like at first I felt like I was a dragonfly, and then I just kind of felt like, how do I explain it? Like I am the mirror, like all these things are looking at me, but it's just a permeable surface. That was cool. I mean, in my dreams, I walk through mirrors all the time. Like I'll see my reflection in a mirror, which people say they don't normally look at themselves in mirrors in dreams. And so when I heard that, I decided to make more of a conscious effort when I'm having lucid dreaming to try to dream of a mirror. And so I would first try to touch it, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go through this mirror, and I wouldn't be able to. And then I'm like, but I'm dreaming, I should be able to. And then I would pass through it with ease.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if the same thing could be done here, where we're like, you can't really pass through a mirror. And then it's like, well, what if we're like, you know what, this is just a waking dream. I can do it, you know.
We can have whatever we want. Exactly. There's no more veil, so we can pass through the mirror. Let's try that today. Let's be like, this will be a fun game.
I mean, I do that from time to time when I'm in the mirror. I'm like, wait, is today the day I can put my hand through the mirror? I'm like, nope, not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Okay, we'll try today after this call. Yeah. Okay.
Dude, this is so cool. I thank you so much for being our guest
Oh,
interviewer.
thank you for having me. This was fun. We should
My
do more of these.
friend. Good. So, hey, if you guys, by the way, love Lili and you would like to have her back as a guest interviewer, please leave that in the comment section down below. But also, if you would like to be a guest interviewer, much like Lili, then all you have to do is email me, Tara, at kittensweightsandtarot.com, or find me on the Instagrams if you're there at kittensweightsandtarot. And we can find a theme to talk about. And, but if you are more of the shy type and you don't want to be all over the interwebs, then we could do a one-on-one channeling, which I also offer on my website. Or if you are a person that is interested in just being a guest interviewer, but you don't want your image, then that's fine. You can always click off the camera and put whatever logo or, photo of yourself if you wish. You could just be audio only. That is fine as well. But thank you so much, Lili. This is fascinating. I have a lot to meditate on it, and I'm going to try to mess around with mirrors later today. And I'm going to be typing up a blog post for my Patreon group about Sekhmet, because that energy's been coming up a lot, somehow connected to mirrors. And I think it was asked during the channeling. I'm not still quite remember, but I will go back and rewatch it as I go through the thing. So. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Patreon and YouTube members, for voting on mirrors as portals. And thank you to my subscribers who originally requested that video on my big long channeling list that I have. And it's from that big long channeling list that I pull the suggested channeling videos for Patreon and YouTube to vote on. So if you're wanting to be a part of those exclusive videos and votes, then definitely check out that information box down below. Check out my YouTube membership and my Patreon membership so that you can help support the channel here. So thank you so much. Thank you again to the lovely and beautiful Lili. And we will catch you guys next time. Peace, love, and chicken grease.
Bye.
Bye, guys.